Rupes Uno Advanced all-in-one polish. There's actually 3 different ways you can use it. Stay tuned, we're going to go into all those ways next. Hi, I'm Todd Cooprider with Esoteric. We're here today, like I said, talk about the new Rupes Uno Advanced. We're going to talk about the details of it, and then we're going to go over to the car at the end of the video to show how to apply it. But before we get into the details, a quick reminder, we now have our Elite Detailer Academy available online. We're going to link in the description below, and we'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of the video as well. Back to the details of the new Rupes Uno Advanced. If you've watched our popular video that we did in the past on the Rupes Uno Protect, love that product, super easy to use. They have come out with brand new formulation on this with a little bit different spin. First of all, what is an all-in-one? All-in-one is a cleaner, polish, and a protectant. It's not something that you're necessarily going in and looking for major amounts of correction. It's also not something you're going to be using if you're looking for the most durability out of a protectant. But a lot of customers, a lot of cars just need a little bit of love, make them look a little bit better quickly, and add some protection. And when I say quickly, one person can go around a car in about 30 minutes using a product like this. I talked about 3 different ways to use it. Let's talk about the first way. First way is a traditional all-in-one. 30 to 40 minute polish. We're getting rid of some of the lighter defects. When I say lighter defects, it's going to be some lighter swirls and marring, maybe at 20-25% correction rate. It also depends on what pad that you're teaming up with it, which we'll talk about when we get into the application process. That's the most popular way that it's going to be used. Now, another way that you can use it, because it has the nice protection in it, I'll talk about that one a little bit, is you can use this as a finishing polish. Let's say you've gone in and done some compounding, you've got some haziness left, you just need to go in and remove the haziness and you want to leave some protection behind, you can use it that way as well. You're going to slow down your process when you do it that way and make sure that your finish is really good. And then you don't have to go in and do a secondary process for adding the protection because it is built in. Now, the third way that you can use it is going to be as a way to kind of clean up an existing coating that's on the car. You can go in, do a quick light polish. It's going to top up your protection. It's going to look great, and it's going to add about 12 months of protection. All right, let's talk a little bit about the protection that's in this. Previously, it was more of a wax and sealant-based protection that you get in it. In the Protect, well, the new Uno Advanced, this is a coating-based protectant that's going in there. It's going to give you a lot more durability. I said upwards of about 12 months that you're going to get out of it. It's going to be super slick. It's going to be similar characteristics that what you get out of a coating. You can't just simply wash it away. It's going to have great looks to it, and the ease of maintenance is going to be fantastic. So you get a bit more out of this than what you're going to get a traditional all-in-one. The kind of protection that you get out of this is definitely going to be a bit better. Now, a couple tips on the use of it, and then we'll go into some instructions. And when you're using this, you have to think of it also like you would think about a coating in the application and the removal process. This needs to set up on the surface for 15 to 20 minutes before removing, and that's one of the reasons why you can do it so quickly, because you can go around and do the entire car, and by the time you're finished, it'll be time to start your removal process on the area where you started. So give it at least 15 minutes before removal. Now, the other thing, it needs about 4 hours to set up. So if you want to do the test where you put it on, you immediately remove it, and you try to throw some water on it and see how it's going to react, it's not going to react all that great because it hasn't had time to set up yet. Now, once you remove it, it's going to look fantastic. And there's going to be some slickness to it. But after about that 4-hour mark, the slickness is going to be greater, and your hydrophobic properties are going to be a lot greater as well. Like we do with coatings, we want to try to keep this dry. Now with this, you can do something you can't do with coatings. With coatings, if you're doing it outdoors, you don't have a place to keep your car. You don't want to have fresh coating sitting on a car overnight due in condensation. With this, as long as you've got about 4 hours in there, you're going to be fine. Now, we talked about the 3 different ways that we can use it. We talked a little bit about some of the characteristics of it. Now we're going to go over to our car and we're going to go through an application process so you know how to get the most out of the Rupes Uno Advanced. All right, now we're here at the car getting ready to go over the details of how to get the most out of Uno Advanced. And part of that is what pad choice that we're going to have with it. We've got some options. It depends on what our wants and needs are. We're trying to get through it just really quickly, get some very light correction. We want to slow down the process a little bit to get a little bit more correction. Well, with that, your pad choice is going to vary as well. Some of the popular ones that you're going to have, the Rupes, a white finishing pad is going to be a popular choice. You can get through the vehicle pretty quickly. You can use a polishing pad. This is what we're using most of the time when we're doing it because we want a little bit more. Still, we're going kind of quickly on the process. But some other options, their new microfiber pad, the finishing one, this would make a great option, particularly if you're trying to get a little bit more correction. You want to slow the process down a little bit. This is going to be a good one, or the yellow microfiber if you're trying to get a bit more. For me, if I'm having to step up to this level with it, I'm probably going with a more traditional one step and then protection afterwards, but your results may vary depending on what you want to do. Now, getting the car ready for this, typically we're going to go through our decontamination wash. We're going to hit it with iron. We're going to go in and do mechanical decontamination, which is clay. We've talked about a million times here on this channel. We're not doing clay without polishing, and when we're doing polishing, we probably want to be doing clay. And for those of you who think, well, my car's not in bad shape, but it's got some crunchiness and stuff to it, this might be a great option for you because you can go in and clay it. You can do a really quick polish. It's going to clean up any of the marring from the claying, and it's going to leave some protection behind. Okay, so we've gone in, we've washed it, we've ironed it, we've clayed it. I'll do a quick prep wipe on it just to make sure everything is off of the surface. That way that I know I've got a completely clean surface to work with. There's no residue of anything left over. And the cleaner your surface, or the better job you've done at prepping it, the more effective it's all going to be. Okay, since you've got a polish and basically like a coating all in one here, make sure and give it a really thorough shake every time that you use it. Now here, I'll go ahead and grab my white pad. Got my LHR 15. Now here's what difference that we're going to have too. We're going to go faster arm speed, slower machine speed. So I'm down on about speed 3, whereas normal polishing we'd be about 4.5. Compounding as well would be about 4.5. But we're going to slow this down a little bit. I'm going to do this one as if I'm just trying to get a really quick cleanup. And you can put it right on. You can put the product right on the pad. Or if you want to really save time, you go ahead and pre-stage the product on the panel. And I'll kind of show you how I go about doing that. It just saves you a bit of time. You can pre-load a panel or the whole side of a car, come back, hit it really quickly. It just saves you time because you're not having to stop after every section and applying more product. Like I said, when we do this, we're going to be much, much faster. It's not as detailed or intensive as if we're doing a regular polishing job. This is a quick process. So Okay, you can see how that is a lot quicker than our regular polishing that we're doing. It's not as intensive. We're not going for as much correction as we would on a regular polish. However, if we wanted to get more correction out of it, we'd step up to a little bit more aggressive pad. We would slow that arm speed down quite a bit and be a little bit more deliberate on how we're doing our pattern. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to fast forward in time as if we waited 20 minutes or 15 minutes at least. Usually it's going to be 20 to 30 minutes by the time you do your removal process. And we're going to mix this up a little bit too. This is going to be more like removing coating. We're going to use a 2-towel method. I'm going to go in with a heavier nap towel for my first wipe, and I'm going to follow it up with a shorter nap towel for my secondary wipe. Just because like a coating, you go in your first wipe, there's still a little bit of residue left on there. You have a high chance of that happening with this as well. That's where your secondary towel takes care of that and make sure that you don't have any kind of streaking or smearing. So I'm just going to go in, and I can tell right now, since it hasn't had time to set up, it gets a little bit more grabby during the removal process. But as it is completely set up, you don't have that problem. Now I'm going back with my secondary towel, and this typically is going to be a lot smoother, a lot slicker, because I've got most of the product off of the surface. Really, it is as simple as that. Now, if you find you have any more questions about this product, about the application process, leave it in the comment section below. I'm the one that goes in and answers it. And if you want to get more instruction like this, times 62. We talked about earlier our Elite Detailer Academy online. We've got 62 videos, 62 quizzes, 7 hours of an instruction, and it's designed for enthusiasts, aspiring detailers, as well as professional detailers. We're going to put that link below. Make sure to check out some of the videos we're going to link here at the end. As always, we appreciate you hanging out with us here on the Esoteric channel. Thanks. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.